first thing I want to know is, what do you think about when you're taking something that's such a well-loved story and fitting it into your existing universe? What do you think about? What are the compromises?
Well, I mean, the first thing is, my Days of Future Past was my favorite run growing up. I remember reading it for the first time, never imagining it was going to be a movie, but loving the story. So when we all decided to pursue this as the next film, I sort of figured the things that for me were sacred. I went online. I would read everything that the fans wrote and tried to be true to the essence of the books and the main story of the books, while changing the things that needed to be changed for the movie. I mean, both in terms of, that's a story that's told over a more expansive time period. We have a 2-hour movie to tell a lot of characters' story. And the biggest thing we changed, and I think the only big change from the books, was obviously who goes back in time.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting point, because obviously Hugh is the lead, this is a Hugh Jackman movie, it's a Wolverine movie, they've all been, it's the Wolverine movie series as much as it is the X-Men series to some degree.
Well, the reason we sent Wolverine back in time didn't have anything to do with the popularity of Hugh as the character. We wanted to send someone's consciousness back to their younger body. We cast Ellen Page in X3 as Kitty, so to send her back to the 1970s she'd be negative 20 years old. So we kind of knew immediately that it was going to have to be someone else, and we explored other ideas. Matthew Vaughn, who was the director at the time, and I were working on the script. We talked about Bishop, about Cable, and then the notion that there's one person who would be the same age and the same actor in 1973 as he would be in the future sort of seemed like the most obvious and inevitable choice. And for me, once I started thinking about Hugh being set back in time, the relationship between him and Xavier, a guy who was saved and mentored by the old Xavier, going back to save and mentor the young one, seemed really rich to me and seemed like it actually added something to the original story.
Which is, I mean, it presumably seems to have come out quite a good decision, but it does beg a question: do you think you can have a film led by an actress rather than an actor? I mean, Ellen Page, for instance,
Yeah, I mean, I love Ellen. I think she's an extraordinary actress, and I think she could be the lead of a movie without question. Obviously, Jennifer Lawrence in our cast is the face and the lead of the Hunger Games series, and there's no question that it could be. And it could be in an X-Men movie going forward. It just isn't in this one.
And obviously, you've got Fantastic Four coming up, and there's been quite a lot of controversy over the casting because you've cast 2 black actors in roles that were white in the comics. Could you comment on that? Because I mean, there are a lot of idiots on the internet who need to be told something, and I wondered if you could.
Well, Josh Trank, the director of the movie, is approaching it from a very different place than the movies were approached before. It's more of a emotional, grounded, dramatic movie, and so casting was very similar to the way we cast the X-Men movies, which is the best dramatic actor for the part. And Josh's vision for that movie is really clear, and he cast somebody he thought was an amazing dramatic actor, who I think is one of the best actors of his generation, and Michael B. Jordan. So the race can deepen the character that's already there, but it really was about wanting to cast who Josh believed was the best actor out there for the part.
And based on the age of the actors, it seems like you're going straight from sort of the ultimate Fantastic Four stories.
I can't really comment on the content of the movie, but the actors are not putting on makeup to play older versions of themselves.
And finally, one final question before I let you go in this horrible rainy premiere. Obviously, you're also quite deeply involved with Star Wars. Is it true Adam Driver playing Han Solo's son?
I cannot comment on anything to do with Star Wars other than I'm very excited about it. Sorry, I wish I could.